What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. Thank y'all as well. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join the Rich Gang family, be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications, hit that like button, and be sure to drop a comment down below when complete. So as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, today I am bringing y'all the top 3 most broken and rare slasher builds on NBA 2K22 next gen. And first up, coming at y'all, I had to go ahead and bring y'all the very special Lob Threat build with over 100 badges, as well as getting every single contact dunk in the game. So to make this build, you got to go ahead and put it under the power forward position. Then once we go ahead and get into the height, I'm going to go with 6'7", 210 for the weight with a 7'4" wingspan. Now when it comes down to how this build is going to be looking all around, I'm telling you, this is definitely my favorite build on this list. Yes, because of the build name, but also with the potential of what you're going to be able to do with it, especially if this build is in the right hands. So as you can see, 29 finishing badges, something that I'm really looking forward to for the finishing end. But once we go ahead and get into the shooting, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and put on an 82 mid-range shot as well as a 79 three-pointer. And that's going to give us a total of 23 badges when it comes down to the shooting end. Now, I know you can definitely go higher on the mid-range, but if you do that, the build name is subjected to change. That is something that I don't want to risk, so go ahead and leave it as is. 23 badges is going to be perfect. Now, let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. So as you can see, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of 76, ball handle of an 80 with a 73 speed with ball, and that's going to give us a total of 22 playmaking badges. Now, right here, if you go ahead and take a quick look at the defensive end, you already know that we have to make this build to where we're still going to be able to get over 100 badges when it's all said and done. And that includes with the rebirth badges that we are given at the beginning of each build that we make. So as you can see right here, I am very specific when it comes down to the defensive attributes. Reason being is because if you change any of the attributes other than what I'm showing y'all, the build name is going to change. And I'm just letting you know right now, that is what you don't want to happen. So as you can see, a total of 17 badges. Go ahead and add in the 10, and that's going to put us exactly at 100. I'm telling you, the build really goes together. And on top of all that, I really feel like you would be able to use this build with any type of lineup and be able to find success out of it. So as you can see, 91 total badges in all, but then you get the plus 10, gonna put you over 100. Now, when it comes down to the takeover, this is gonna play a huge factor in how this build is gonna be used. So, as you can see, the first takeover we get is the slashing. Second, the shot creating, which honestly is going to allow us to shoot much better. Then we get the sharpshooting as well as the playmaking. So whichever takeover you decide to pick basing off of your own playstyle, that's really up to you. But for me, I'm going to go with first, ankle breaking shots takeover. Then once we go ahead and get into the second one, this is all up to you. But for me, I'm going to go with finishing moves. And now, as y'all can see, the build we have created together is going to be called the Lob Threat build. And I'm telling you, look at that comparison of Kyle Kuzma. Now, we have number 2 coming up. I'm telling you, this is definitely a very rare build name, but more so importantly, the ability that comes with this build, the Jack of all trades build, with that rim protecting takeover made out of the small forward position. And also on top of all that, we are able to get contact dunks on this build, which is why I had to put this number 2 on this list for the top 3 most broken and rare slasher builds on next gen. Now, if you are still here watching, we're about to get halfway through the video and y'all still haven't hit that like button. So what I need everybody still watching to do, go ahead and hit that like button. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe to join the Rich Gang family. Turn on post notifications so you can see when I upload every single day, and as well as leave a comment down below when complete, because again, I do love interacting with y'all. Shout out to the Rich Gang family. Now, let's go ahead and get into the making. The first thing, if you were paying attention, that you gotta go ahead and do is put this build under the small forward position. Then, for the height, I'm going to be going with 6'9", 190 for the weight with a 7'6" wingspan. Now, the body shape that we're going to be going into is going to be built just to take up the most space. This is what's really going to allow us to make the better of this build, but also do a lot of great things that come with it. Now, the close shot I'm going to be going with is going to be a 91. So you do have the potential to get to a 99 here, but then also the same exact thing is going to be applied for the driving dunk as well as the driving layup. With boost as well as your takeover taken into consideration, you're easily going to be able to get a 99 for all three of these stats. 20 badges in total for the finishing. Now, let's go ahead and get into the shooting. I'm going to go with an 82 mid-range shot, three-pointer of a 78 with a free throw of 84. Now, once we go ahead and check out the badge count, a total of 23 badges here. And also remember, we are going to be able to get over 100 badges, not only on the first and second build, but all three of these builds. So just something to really take into account. Now, once we go ahead and get into the playmaking, I'm going to go with a pass accuracy of 75. Once we go ahead and get into the ball handle, that's going to be maxed out, as well as the speed with ball, for another total of 20 badges in all. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the defensive end. Here is where things are going to continue to get even more special. So already on the interior defense, we're going to be able to defend pretty well. Then once we go ahead and take a look at the perimeter defense, the same exact thing can be said here. I like the fact that we're going to be able to get a 99 block on this build, 81 steal, and then once we go ahead and get into the rebounding, this is really going to make a huge difference, especially if you do take this build into the 1v1 court. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say right here, right now, this, out of all the builds on this list, is definitely going to have the most rare name. Especially with what this build is going to be able to do, you're going to be able to not only take this build into any game mode, but you're going to be able to find a lot of success on the 1v1 court. That is not normal for any type of jack-of-all-trades build, so that is why I had to put this build on number 2 on the list. And then especially once you go ahead and take into consideration which takeover are you going to add on this build. Now, for my liking, I would definitely have to say basing it off of your own preference is always the number one thing that you want to go ahead and do. So for me, I'm really taking a look at the defensive takeover being the rim protecting as well as the shot creating or the sharpshooting. It's all going to come down to base it off of your own preference. But since this build is 6'9", I'm going to go with first, paint intimidation takeover to help out on the inside. Secondly, I'm going to go with ankle breaking shots. And as y'all can see, we have made the jack of all trades build. And look at the comparison of Miles Bridges as well as Lamar Odom. Now, we have one final build lined up for y'all. Probably the most overpowered and toxic out of all three. The two-way slashing shot creator, also being at the small forward position, 6'9" with a weight of 190. Now this build, I'm telling you, easily one of my favorite builds when it comes down to being a meta build. Especially also, this is one of the easiest builds to make with being able to maintain over 100 badges. I have even seen this build get up to 114 badges. There are multiple ways that you can go about making this build, which is what I really like about it. So as we do go along and get into the making of this one, please feel free to go ahead and make your own adjustments. But also, if you're still watching, go ahead and hit that sub button, turn on post notifications, drop a like as well as a comment down below, and everything is going to be all good from there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and put this build under the small forward position, of course. Then, once we go with the height, I'm going to be going with 6'9", but you can even make this build at 6'8" if you wanted to. The weight, I'm liking 190, and then for the wingspan, I'm going to go with 7'4" with the body shape of builds. Now, once we go ahead and get into the breakdown of how this build is actually going to be looking. I'm telling you, you're going to see why, as to this is easily one of the most popular builds, not only that you will see, but in all of 2K, when it comes down to be able to just pick up a build, use it, and find success with it. This is going to be one of those easy builds to pick up and use. So just something to throw at y'all, a highly recommended build to make if you're struggling on this game. This is the one that I would definitely have to start out with myself if I did not know what I was doing when it comes down to the dribbling, the shooting, the defensive end, the playmaking, everything, y'all. I'm telling you, this is an all-around build, and it's really easy to use in the right hands. So as you can see, with the playmaking, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of 85, 77 for the ball handle, as well as a 72 speed with ball. Now, once we go ahead and get into the breakdown of the defensive end, here is where things are also drastically going to take a huge change. So, I'm maxing out that perimeter defense, go with the 76 steal, 80 block, 78 offensive rebound, as well as an 82 defensive rebound. Then from there on the physicals, I'm maxing out that speed, go with the 75 acceleration, 80 vertical, and then for the stamina, you can max it out or use the remaining attributes to put into whichever area of this build you feel most comfortable with. Now you can even go ahead and put it into the block, then with boost, that's going to allow us to get over a 99 block, which honestly is something that I'm going to take into consideration on this build. But now, this is what the final setup is pretty much going to be looking like. 26 defensive badges, 23 for the playmaking. Once we get to the shooting, 25. And then finally for the finishing, we're going to go ahead and get a total of 28. Now, remember, you can make your own adjustments to this build as you please. Just please don't go ahead and comment down below that we made different builds. When I'm telling you, follow along as we go along. So, we get the glass cleaning takeover. Then we get the lockdown, shot creating, and the sharpshooting. I'm really going to leave it up to y'all. But man, if you made it to the end, just know that I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Go ahead and turn on post notifications, as well as hit that like button to join the Rich Gang family. Go ahead and drop a comment down below when complete. And now, let's go ahead and check out the build name. And as y'all can see, we have made the two-way slashing shot creator with a comparison of LeBron James. Thank you to those of you who made it to the end. If you did, go ahead and comment down Rich Gang family. And man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.